What's up guys, Shada here, and today we're going to be talking about some tips that I'm going to go ahead and give you guys for Apex Legends. Hopefully it can improve your gameplay and make you rethink the way you're playing and your strategy that you're using. For the first tip, landing. You guys want to pick a place, agree with your squad of where you want to go,
Wetlands,
and jump accordingly. You don't want to jump too early or too late, because that's gonna dictate whether you lose the first fight or win the first fight. As you guys see in this match, look at that jump, where we jumped and where we're trying to go. That was a horrible jump. I did not like it. By this time I was a little annoyed, to be honest. And yeah, I mean, I got no words for it. I was just really annoyed. You want to jump right. You want to be on the ground first. You want to have that advantage over the other guys landing there, over the other squads that are going to be landing there. That way you have that advantage and you can hopefully win the fight if you guys were to get into a gunfight. So let's move on to tip number 2. For tip number 2, I'm going to say that be aggressive. Don't be afraid to be aggressive right off the back as soon as you get to the landing where we're gonna land, and be aggressive. If you have a good setup, you can be aggressive. Most likely the opponents are not gonna have good weapons and they're not gonna have good health, and if you happen to have a good weapon and have good health right off the back, be aggressive, push the squads. Most likely you're gonna take them on and you're gonna win those fights, because not everyone gets lucky right off the back and gets good loot. So if you have good loot right when you land, push the other squads, be aggressive. You will definitely have an advantage over them and you will most likely win those fights. I've been in situations where I get a Peacekeeper, I get an R301 and good armor right off the back, and I've been able to take on a full squad by myself because they don't have good loot, you know? Not everyone gets lucky, like I mentioned before. So be aggressive right off the back if you do have good loot. So moving on to the third tip, I'm going to say to practice your aim, practice your tracking. You saw right there with the R301, my tracking was pretty good. It was on point. I was hitting most of my shots, so you want to make sure you practice. You can go into the practice mode. I think Apex Legends has a practice mode, and practice your tracking, practice whatever you need to do to get better with your aiming. Check out your sensitivity. Is your sensitivity too fast, too slow? Make the changes accordingly. Once again, right there, my aim was on point. I go ahead and fight this guy, and look at my tracking, pretty good. Most of my shots are hitting. Over there, I'm kind of far away. Switch to the other weapon. I was hitting my shots. So practice your aiming, be good with your aiming, and make sure you have that down. For tip number 4, I'm gonna say know your legend and know their abilities. As you saw right there, I'm using Wraith. I wanted to push this guy because I knew I had a few shots on him and he was weak, so I went ahead and used Into the Void. That way I can get close to him without taking any damage if he was to take shots at me. So make sure you know your legend, know his abilities, and know when to use him best. Right here is another great example of when I use Wraith and I use the Into the Void ability. I take a few shots, I go ahead and use the ability and run for cover. That way if he was gonna take a few more shots, he wouldn't hit me, and I don't take any more damage. For the last tip, I want to talk about taking cover. You want to make sure that you're close to structures, that you're tight with the structures. You don't want to run out in the open. Most of us have probably played Fortnite, and in Fortnite you were able to do that. You can go out in the open if you wanted to, because you could just build, right? Well, we don't have building here. So you want to use anything that you can for cover. You want to stay tight to the structures that you're taking cover with. As you guys see right here, I'm really close to the rock, so when he takes the shots, I can easily go and run behind that rock and use that cover. So make sure you guys are using your surroundings for cover. Don't just run out in the open when you're in battle, because you will get shot down. use anything that you can for cover. You know, there's trucks, there's crates, there's buildings, there's rocks. Anything that you can use it. Stay tight to that cover, and it's gonna definitely help you guys win more fights. That's it for the tips, guys. I hope you guys liked the video. I hope you guys have enjoyed the video. There I go again, using my ability to run away. I actually did a portal, and my teammate was able to go through that portal, and I was gonna try to arrest him, but the other team pushed me right away, and I do end up taking a couple of them down, but I make a bad decision at the end and I get killed. Like I was saying, like the video, subscribe if you like the tips. I will be giving you guys more tips. I want to do a video on tips every weekend. I want to put some thought into the tips, that way I'm not just giving you guys some random information. So make sure you guys like the video, subscribe, and I will go ahead and see you guys next time. No shouldn't have picked that fight, me hubiera ido.